And hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Darren here, Mr. Sandsman. I'm here to look at Tombstone. This week Disney releases Tombstone on 4K, and this one here is a lovely SteelBook edition that's been brought out. I do quite like SteelBooks, I must admit. I know a lot of people out there are not fans because they can get dinged and damaged and whatnot, but I actually like the SteelBook format, and given I don't have kids, I'm able to kind of look after these things properly and so they don't get damaged. But Tombstone, Disney brought this out this week, and it comes with this beautiful new artwork, if I can show you that there. I've got the J card or whatever you call it over it at the moment. I'm just about to take that off in a second, but I'll show you the back of this. There we go. I'll go through the bonus features in a moment, but that's the artwork on the artwork on the J card as it stands. So if I just pull this back and slip this out, you can then have a proper look at how this looks. On the back there, you have this US Marshals badge. And then inside we have the two discs, the Blu-ray and the 4K there, with also some nice artwork inside as well. There's Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. So I first saw this when it first came out on, I believe the release date was Christmas Day 1993. I think that was the US release date. I think we may have got it later in January or February in the UK. But there were two Wyatt Earp movies that came out around the same time. I think one came out later in the year, and this one, I think there was a race for the release date, and this one got out there first. And I think it's the better movie of the two. This one's more of a kind of multiplex friendly action picture, whereas the other one feels more like a biopic. That's the Kevin Costner one with Dennis Quaid as Doc Holliday. But this one has Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Powers Booth, Michael Biehn, Dana Delaney, Stephen Lang, Jason Priestley. Charlton Heston's in here as well, and also Robert Mitchum, who was still alive at this time, is the narrator on the film. Now, the movie itself has a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 93% with audiences. This is always a film that audiences have loved over the years, and I remember going to see this for the first time, not really expecting much from it, but was blown away by the kind of the characters and the camaraderie in this film. You know, Wyatt Earp and his brothers, Virgil and Morgan, played by Sam Elliott and Bill Paxton. And you've also got Val Kilmer there as Doc Holliday, who sadly passed away recently. So it's kind of poignant that this came out when it did. Obviously, this release was planned well before the death of Val Kilmer, and a lot of people nowadays are really citing it as one of his finest performances. And I agree with that. I do think it's one of his best performances, because he not only immersed himself in the character mentally, he also immersed himself in the character physically as well, and lost a lot of weight for this. And it's all there up on the screen. He's terrific in this film, and it really is one of the standout performances.
I'm your huckleberry.
Kurt Russell, as always, is just Kurt Russell, I think, but that's not a bad thing. And Sam Elliott as Virgil and Bill Paxton as Morgan are terrific supporting cast members in this film. So you've got a really, really fine pedigree with this movie. George P. Cosmatos directing it. Obviously, George P. Cosmatos did movies like Cobra and Rambo First Blood Part 2 and Leviathan, I think, as well, before this movie was made. So a decent kind of workhorse director behind it as well, a director that stars can manage, if that makes sense. And Cobra, by the way, has just been announced by Arrow Films as well, which I've just pre-ordered, so I'll be talking about that over the coming months as well once that film gets released. George P. Cosmatos also directed a movie that I love from the 70s as well, a movie called The Cassandra Crossing with Martin Sheen and Richard Harris, about a virus escaping on a train. If you haven't checked that out, folks, have a look at it. If you love movies with Richard Harris running around with a machine gun and a turtleneck on, then that's the movie for you. But we're here to talk about Tombstone and what is included on this disc. So, with this disc, we have a new 4K restoration from the original camera negative, which is in Dolby Vision and HDR10. A DTS-HD Master 5.1 audio soundtrack as well. No Atmos on it, unfortunately. I wish there would be more Atmos tracks on these Blu-rays because I'm a Sonos guy, and unfortunately Sonos don't support DTS. Or certainly not DTS HD Master Audio anyway. As I said before, it comes in this lovely SteelBook presentation. And then on the disc, we've got 3 making of featurettes, an ensemble cast, which we've talked about already, making an authentic Western, the gunfight at the OK Corral, and there's also some storyboards with director George P. Cosmatos as well. You get the trailer and TV spots, so not too bogged down with extras, unfortunately. It actually doesn't even include the director's cut, which would have been nice on here. That came out in 2002, I think, and added about 5 minutes of additional scenes and footage, which is a nice thing to have and would have been perfect for this release. But I took a look at this today, and you know what? Some scenes look absolutely fantastic, but unfortunately others don't. Some of the darker sequences, the blacks really struggle on this movie. They kind of just mold all into this kind of one dark mass, particularly on the indoor sequences. So I was a little disappointed with that. However, the soundtrack as I heard it, although I wasn't getting the full DTS HD Master Audio soundtrack, was bloody good. And really bassy, some great separation on there, particularly in the gunfight scenes, and the score by Bruce Broughton is absolutely fantastic. It's a real kind of heroic Western theme, and with a lot of dark elements in it as well, as we get some of those more kind of moody sequences in the movie. So would I recommend it? I think I would. It's not the best 4K transfer that I've seen before, but then who knows what state the elements were in when Disney got their hands on them to do this. It is disappointing on the indoor sequences, but some of those bright outdoor gunfight scenes that we get, particularly the OK Corral scene, do look fantastic. So yeah, I think I would recommend it. It's a nice thing to have, particularly in this SteelBook form, which I think looks superb. But, you know, I think a little bit more effort could have been put into the extras. It would have been nice to have gotten a commentary on here, but unfortunately, it's just a little bit lacking. But yeah, this comes out on the 28th of April in the UK. I believe it's already been out in the US already. So yeah, Tombstone, folks. Check it out. If you haven't seen it already, I think you'll have a blast with it because it's one of those timeless movies. If you have seen it already, it's a nice little addition to your 4K collection, but don't expect too much from it. That's it, guys. Thanks very much. I shall speak to you soon.